What is up, my friends? It is Sunday evening and you are very welcome along to the Anfield Agenda News Roundup. First of all, I want to let you guys know that on tonight's late night agenda at 8:45, we will be unveiling our brand new state-of-the-art studio for the upcoming 2024-2025 season. We're fully team green screen over here, so you know what to expect. You're going to get a glimpse of it tonight. We'd love to know your thoughts. So hopefully you can come along and join us for our longer form content tonight, 8:45 for the late night agenda. Right, my friends, I'm going to get straight into it because there's loads to go through. But remember, like, subscribe and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Right, let's kick it off with an announcement from Thiago Alcantara that he has retired from professional football. Look, you will have your own thoughts on Thiago's career at Liverpool and his career in general. But honestly, I'm an unashamed Thiago sexual. I loved having him at the football club. I love being able to know that Thiago wore a Liverpool shirt. Yes, maybe we didn't get to see enough of the brilliance, but there was a few glimpses there to keep me going for the years ahead. Look, he's amazing. I love him. But I feel like this is the right decision. Last year was a very difficult one. He played all of 6 minutes, I think, for Liverpool. And this does feel like the right decision for his body, his family, and of course his future. So thank you, Thiago, for a wonderful career. It was a pleasure to see you at Liverpool. Right, next up, my friends, we're going to speak about Anthony Gordon because he's been talking about what it would be like if he moved to Liverpool. So we know he's away with the England camp, and well done to England and the Netherlands and qualifying yesterday for the semi-finals of the Euros. That's going to be an interesting matchup midweek. I think it's taking place in Dortmund Stadium. Bellingham going back there. Will he fire England into a final, or will the Netherlands, I don't know, throw a spanner in the works? Let me know your thoughts on that one. Anyway, back to Anthony Gordon. So he's been speaking to Trent Alexander-Arnold about what life's like at Liverpool. He is a boyhood Red. I'm sure many of you knew that, but it doesn't feel to me like this one's over. I don't know if we'll revisit, but he certainly feels like he wants to move. Lots of talk over the weekend as well that his agent is trying to get things moving. Newcastle want to put a new contract in front of him, but has the damage already been done? Has Anthony Gordon's head been turned? I believe so, but let's wait and see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Right, we are going to talk about the two main stories in today's video, which are Marc, Guehi and Ederson of Atalata. But before I do, just a bit of an update. So the news is starting to come out more and more about Liverpool liking the look of Rayan Aït-Nouri of Wolves. We reported the other day that there was a meeting between the Guehi agency and Liverpool. We just don't know what that meeting was about. He is one of Guehi's players. He's represented by George Mendes and that agency, along with other players at Liverpool Football Club like Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota. So I think there's probably something to these links. We are, a year into being linked with Rayan Aït-Nouri, and I think we could do with upgrading Costas. So for me, bringing him in for about £38 million, if that's the fee that it ends up being, is great business. We've mentioned that a few times on the channel over the last few weeks, but we'd love to know your thoughts, of course, so let us know. The two main stories that I'm going to come on to now, and the first one is that Liverpool have been given the green light to sign Atalanta midfielder Ederson for a fee of about £42 million. The 25-year-old Brazilian international is away at the moment at the Copa America, and well, I say that, they were knocked out last night actually. I'm just realising that right now. I don't know how I didn't know that because I was watching it, but yes, they were knocked out last night by Darwin Núñez and Uruguay in a penalty shootout. I'd love to know your thoughts on this actually. In the Copa America, from the knockout stages all the way to the final, there are no extra time, straight to penalties until the final, in which case they go the full 90, an extra 30 and penalty kicks. But I have to say, I was against the idea initially, but as the tournament went on, I thought it became really fun because they leave it all out there in the 90. No playing it safe, knowing that maybe there's another 30 minutes. They really do. And for me, this could be the way forward for international football. So, but anyway, back to Ederson. 42 million quid is the fee that Atalanta want, which is about 50 million euro. He's been speaking about his future on a couple of occasions and always being a little bit vague, but always optimistic. He did speak about being happy in Bergamo with Atalanta, but also open to a move abroad. And Liverpool are the most serious interest that we can figure out anyway. And his agent, apparently, again, in negotiations with the club about what it might take for him to move away. From our perspective, we've seen Tutto Atalanta and Gazzetta dello Sport, I believe, saying that Liverpool will have a forthcoming bid. There's also been links to his teammate, Toyin Koopmeiners. But for us, here at Anfield Agenda, we've always felt like Ederson is the more likely and the better fit for the system that Arne Slot will probably play. Don't worry, I'm not going to start talking about formations because I know he's a bit touchy about that at the moment. Fellow fan channel of ours, obviously. And look, I have to say, I feel sorry for Chris on that one. It was a fair question. I just felt like maybe the gaffer wanted to make a statement on it. So, Chris, if you're watching this, mate, I definitely did feel for you in that moment, because I probably would have asked a very similar question in all honesty. Next up, though, and the big topic of today for me is Marc Guehi of Crystal Palace. We're starting to hear a few little things about him being the option that Liverpool are going to look at. Now, we know Calafiori was another name on the list. Arsenal look like they've gotten that deal over the line. Lots of talk that deal will be confirmed over the next 48 hours, and it does look like their relationship there, Arsenal with Genoa, from the Tomiyasu deal, has come to fruition here, and they've moved quickly, which is something that I'd like us to do on whoever the targets are. Look, there are some people still in international competitions, but Marc Guehi for me is the sensible option. We have been looking at him for quite a while. He does play left side of defence, but I'm sure if we're looking for a partner for Virgil van Dijk, one of them, probably Virg, could move across to the right hand side. And that's where this story becomes a little bit interesting to me. Are we looking for a partner for Virg, or are we looking for an alternative for Virg? Because depending on what you listen to in the media, some people believe we're looking for a left-sided centre-half. The other people feel like we're looking for a partner for Virgil van Dijk. I truly don't know, or don't mind, as long as we have a centre-back pairing that are robust and are ready to play 30-35 league games in a season, which we haven't really been able to do with Ibu because he's had a couple of injuries and he hasn't really been playing for France in the Euros either. But in fairness to Ibu, he has been very complimentary of his teammates, particularly Saliba, who he was, I think, critiquing a Liverpool fan who called out the defending from Saliba, and Canada was sticking up for him. But for us, look, we feel like Marc Guehi is the name that's most been spoken about behind the scenes. We don't want to go as far as to say that he's going to be the guy, but if I was to put 50 quid on the table right now, based off the few bits and pieces that we hear and what I've read, I would say like he is probably the most realistic option. He ticks all the boxes. He's homegrown, he's the right age bracket, he's Premier League tested, he has the potential to continue to become better and better, and of course he is a fairly realistic price at 65 million quid, and that seems to be the number that it would take to get him from Crystal Palace. All in all, I'd be all over this deal, and I do feel like whenever England's time at the Euros comes to an end, whether they get knocked out in the semis or go all the way, I think you're going to see this story start to gather pace. I can't figure out any other reason why we wouldn't have been after the likes of Calafiori, because we know that Liverpool need to address that area, particularly as well as central midfield. You can talk about attackers, and we will talk about Chiesa, Nico Williams, and a lot more on tonight's show. So in between now and then, I will do my best to get you the very latest, and I hope to see you back here tonight at 8:45 for a late night agenda, where we will be unveiling the new studio, and of course we'll be answering any questions you guys have about this transfer window. Until then, have yourself a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and I will catch up with you soon. Much love. Bye bye.